Today I've got some tips for selling your artwork. Hi, I'm Lisa, the artist behind Lachri Fine Art. One thing that I think we have all heard over and over again is that it is more about the artist, or as much about the artist as it is the art. If you've not heard it, you're hearing it now, and it is so true. And I really got to experience this from the buyer side this week, dropping my phone, from the buyer side this week versus being the artist trying to sell the work. And it gave me, I don't want to say a new perspective because it's something that I've always known, but it gave me a whole new understanding of experiencing that other side. So I want to share that with you. There are a lot of us, and I hear this a lot. I mean a lot. Artists who want their artwork to speak for itself. I don't want to put my photo out there. I don't want to put myself out there. I don't want to make videos. I don't want to do anything that puts me out there. I want the artwork to speak for itself. That's really only going to get you so far. I'm not saying you won't make sales. I'm just saying you're not going to get as far as the artist who is putting themselves out there and letting people get to know them. We need our customers to see something in us that they like, that they connect with, that they want to buy into. Because let's be realistic, no matter what you're creating, there are 100 other artists, if not more, creating pretty much the same thing or something very similar. I mean, yes, there are going to be minor differences, but realistically, there's going to be someone else creating something very close to what you're creating. So then how do you get your buyer to be like, no, that's the person I want to buy from. I want to buy from this person versus this person. A lot of artists think that the way to do that is to undercut the competition, to sell for less than the other artists do. That doesn't work for several reasons. First, just quick, and I'm gonna make another video talking more about this. I want you to sit down. If you're trying to make a living as an artist, sit down and figure out how much money do you need to make per month to live comfortably. Pay your rent, or if you want to eventually buy a house, pay your house payment, all of your bills, your insurance, I mean, there's a lot in there. How much do you need to make a month? And then figure out how much artwork can you create a month. Let's say you create 4 pieces. If you think that selling each of those paintings for $200 instead of the $2,000 the next artist is doing is going to get you the sales, is going to get it so that you can make a living as an artist, you're wrong. If that is your whole business plan, it's obviously not going to work. You're not going to be able to pay your bills. Now, if you're newer, yeah, selling your work for $200 versus $2,000 makes sense. So there's more into that, and I do have a video going over pricing if you want to check that out. But it's something to really think about. If your goal is, or your whole business plan is, I'll just sell for less than the next artist, it will not work. And it's more than just not being able to pay your bills. It goes a lot further than that. A lot of people who are buying art don't really know what they're looking at. And if your art is $200 versus this artist who is $2,000, a lot of buyers are going to assume that means your work isn't as good, because again, they don't know the difference. The next thing, which I think is even bigger, is that art is a luxury item. We're not talking about charging extra for paper towels that someone can go to the store down the street and get for less. That isn't it at all. You are the only person creating that work. I don't mean that there's not someone creating something similar. You're the only one who created your piece, your painting. It's you they're buying into. It's your painting they're buying into. You've got to put yourself out there so they know that. I've been looking at these handmade posable soft sculptures, I think they're called dolls, that are freaking amazing. This one girl went viral. Well, she's been popular for a while, but she went viral more recently, and her stuff, the prices have just shot through the roof. So even though they were expensive to start with, they're really expensive now. And I'm always watching the sales on eBay. They go anywhere from $500 up to $2,000. They're very expensive. And last week, I've got Christmas money coming, so I thought I could buy something fun if I get it on the low end. I started looking, I thought, I bet there are other artists out there who are creating pretty much the same thing. If I just want a really cool looking fantasy doll soft sculpture, like I can type in these keywords, I'm gonna find other artists who make them. And I did. I found other artists who are doing this. And they're not as well known, their work is good, but I'm still leaning towards the one that costs more. Why? Because I want something from her. If she put her name on the ones that are less from another artist, if it was her who created that same thing, I would jump all over it. I would want to purchase that without a doubt. But I want what this girl is creating. I like how she presents her work. I like her personality that comes across in what she's creating. I like so much about what she's doing. I want one of hers. I would rather spend $300 more or more to get one of hers than to save the money and go with someone I'm less less familiar with. Part of it is going back to the fact that I don't know a whole lot about these soft sculptures, and I kind of have this, well, if it costs more, it must mean it's better. Even being an artist, I know that that's not necessarily true, but that's still, I find that floating around in the back of my head. So there's point one. Point two, again, she has put herself out there. She does such a good job with incorporating herself into her brand, and I want to buy into that. I want one of those. I want one of her creations, not something very, very similar created by someone else who has not put themselves out there. And it's not just about the price. It's not just about charging more, and that's going to get you all of the sales either. First, you do need to have your artwork to the level where it does demand that higher price tag, where it is worth that much more. And of course, value depends on the customer and what they're personally willing to pay. But it's not just about the price. This same week, I have this fairy doll who I love. She is so cute, and I should have gotten her down so I could have her in the video. But anyway, this was created by a neighbor of my mom's, used to make these. So this doll my mom gave to me. Now, I'm not a huge collector of dolls or fairies or anything like that, but there's something about this doll that I love. She's weird looking, or my husband thinks she's creepy and going to kill us at night, but I just love this doll, and I wanted to get her a buddy. And my husband says we need to keep her happy so she doesn't kill us, so I'm taking that as a green light to go ahead and spend money on another one. So I went to the artist's website who created this and found out that in June of this year, she stopped making these dolls. She decided to become an author. I was not happy because I've really wanted one of these for a while. I just never got around to buying one or commissioning her to make one. So I went on Etsy and I looked for something similar. I mean, there's a lot of people creating similar things, and they were charging a lot more than what she charged for hers. That wasn't enough to make me want to buy it. I wanted this artist. There's something about this artist's work who I wanted to buy. So it wasn't just because these other artists on Etsy charged more, so I'm thinking it's worth more, I want to buy that. It wasn't the same artist. Again, that same artist could create the same stuff that I was seeing on Etsy, and I would have jumped all over it. But the point was, I wanted something from this artist who created my first doll. So luckily, side story that really doesn't have anything to do with this, I did email her, and it turned out she had 2 of these dolls left that she sold me for less than what I would have paid for a single doll on Etsy. I'm so excited, cannot wait for those to get here. I'm a dork. So this kind of counters what I was talking about before, where it's not just about price. I don't want you guys to just think if I raise the price, people are going to jump all over and want to buy it more. Wasn't the case for me. I wanted to buy into the artist. And this comes back to my original point. You have to sell yourself. You've got to put yourself out there. It is just as important for them to see you and know you, get to know you a bit, as it is for them to see the artwork. And trust me, I have heard every excuse in the book as to why people don't want to put themselves out there. And usually the biggest excuse is, oh, I want the artwork to speak for itself. You're only going to go so far with that. Just being honest, I know it's probably not what a lot of people want to hear, but it really is only going to take you so far. If you want to do very, very well with this, you are your brand. You are a part of the artwork, and you have to put yourself out there just as much as you do the artwork itself. Thanks for watching. I have new art videos 4 times a week, plus now I've been doing a 5th video, my live streaming on Wednesday nights. So if you haven't already, I would love for you to subscribe so you don't miss out on anything. And you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+. All of those social media sites are linked below in the video description, where you can keep up with news, my newest work, and be notified of when those live streams are coming. I'll see you guys on Tuesday.